to the Mind of Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 95. I'm Evan.
And I'm Ta.
This is our basketball podcast. We recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from previous games from the previous day. How are you this Monday, John?
I think you already know that.
Tired.
Yeah.
What are you tired for? You had all day yesterday to sleep, and you still tired.
Look, man, I knew I should have took my nap. Man. Yeah, I knew it. I said, if I don't take my nap, something bad is going to happen. And lo and behold, this is probably the worst I felt in a good minute.
You gotta take naps with old man.
Hey, man, I be moving like an old man. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Those naps hit sometimes.
Exactly.
And then you wake up the next day. All right. I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope everyone will have a good day. I hope everyone enjoyed their Easter Sunday for those who celebrated it. But a lot of basketball from last night, some good, some bad, and some news. So let's get into it. First, starting off with the Golden State Warriors going up against the Atlanta Hawks. And this was a very good competitive back and forth game from the jump between these two teams led by Curry and led by Trae Young. You know, two of the best shooters we have today. One future, one in the current. I guess you can kind of sum it up.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, a lot of offense, a lot of high-paced action, a lot of shooting, a lot of and ones, and Curry doing his little funny and one motions or whatever he does. But it really came down really to the wire.
Yeah.
In that fourth quarter. And it was the Hawks led by Clint Capella, who had himself a big game. And Gallinari coming off the bench and some big shots down the stretch from this Hawks team and key stops and their defense on Curry in that fourth quarter, which led them to this victory.
Yeah. I know you did this already, but I don't think I really truly acknowledge what kind of season Clint Capella has been having, because he has been really valuable for this Hawks team as a big. The things that he could do from a rebounding standpoint to a defensive standpoint to like what he could do offensively because of who he's playing with. Like, you know, it helps open up the floor a lot. He has impacted this team on a level that nobody that like, I'm not going to say you didn't see coming, but nobody truly expected it to be this impactful.
Yeah.
And I got to give him a lot of respect, because it's just like, you know, nobody's really talk. Well, I know you brought it up, of course, but nobody's really talking about that this season, really. So I got to give that.
Yeah, I mean, that's because the Hawks were kind of on that inconsistent slump. And they fired Lloyd Pierce and then Nate McMillan. They had that 8-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Or 7-game winning streak. And now they're trying to, you know, get back to their winning ways.
Yeah.
So I think, the Hawks haven't been a hot topic this season, so to speak. That's really why nobody's been talking about him. But yeah, he deserves a lot of credit.
But this was a great game. This whole team, they fought till the end, and as a result, they was able to get the win. Don't get me wrong, Curry came back and, like, you know, after that extreme embarrassment by the like, you know, the people from up north who's down south right now, like, you know, he's shown why he's so impactful for this team.
Yeah.
It's either that or lottery pick. So just like, you know, and good job from them fighting to the end also themselves, but the Hawks was just better down the stretch.
Yep, Hawks playing better down the stretch, and the play that I was fumbling on, I couldn't remember, was Lou Williams. And he came up big down the stretch as well, hitting some big shots. Sweet Lou, lemon pepper Lou. You know, Magic City Lou.
Hey, man, he got a lot of opportunities to go to Magic City now. That's all I got to say. He got a lot of opportunities to go to Magic City.
Yep, 15 points coming off the bench and a big win for this Atlanta Hawks team, trying to, you know, stay within or stay out of the playing games, you know, going just straight into the playoffs.
Yeah.
As for the Warriors, they've been trying to either stay in the playing games or get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But all right. Next game. Should we go to the bottom or to the top?
We could go to the bottom.
All right, to the bottom, the starless Los Angeles Clippers in the Battle of LA against their ugly sister, the Los Angeles Clippers, even though the Lakers last night looked like the ugly sister themselves, as the Clippers just basically dominated them. They had a stretch, the Lakers did, in which it was close, and that was mainly that first quarter. They kept it close, but the Lakers, come on, they have the stars, they have the better team as of right now. So I mean, of course the Lakers, of course the Clippers won in the blowout.
Yeah. It's I'm sorry, man. The Lakers, they're in the
Need
tough
Anthony
spot
Davis and
right
LeBron.
Yeah, they're in the tough spot right now. They just slipped to the 5th seed because of one team that we're going to be getting to a little bit later. And man, there's like, even though I feel like they probably not gonna be in the playing game, there's no room for margin of error or anything, man. There's no
They're not letting that happen. They're not letting that happen. Playing
of course they're
game,
not letting. Yeah, of
LeBron's
course
gonna come
they're
back
not
before that.
of
Before that
course they're
even
not
becomes
let that
possible.
happen. Yeah, man. Of course they're not gonna let that happen, but like it's tough. But again, we knew that this was gonna be a challenge. The moment Braun went down, the moment Braun went down, that it was gonna be a real tough challenge right then and there.
I think they've been 3-6.
Yeah.
So far without them.
Yeah, they have won games that were really impressive, but they have lost a lot of games in that stretch, just like what you said, 3-6.
Blow out the Kings. And they beat the Magic as well. There was another win that they had. I can't remember.
I believe they beat the Cavs. They beat the Cavs.
Yes. And they beat the Cavs. But yeah, they're gonna need some wins down the stretch to really stay within that range.
Yeah.
Until LeBron and AD comes back, because they can't afford to keep dropping. This Western Conference is too elite and too deep.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, this ain't the East. Can't do that. And even in the East, the East, you might be the 4th seed today.
Exactly.
Yep. And tomorrow you out of the play-in. So yeah, it's crazy in the East. But yeah, in the end, the Clippers, there's really no analyzing in terms of that last night's game for the Battle of LA, because the Clippers just steamrolled them, so to speak. But all right, on to the last game of the night of the primetime games. The Orlando Magic going up against the Denver Nuggets, Aaron Gordon's former team. And wow, did he show out. He made it a statement. He made it a point to show out for this game. He got out to a hot start, and he kind of rolled that for the rest of the game. But he was really the only one that had the hot start as for the Nuggets, because the Magic had that hot start, especially in that second quarter. My goodness. They were up as big as 18 against this Nuggets team. And the Nuggets just looked spooked. They just looked shocked. It's Magic. They was just out hustling them, out muscling them, even though there was a lot of complaining with the refs from both sides. I can't blame the refs, haven't been on their game, so to speak, this season. But yeah, the Magic was just getting everything right. They were playing great defense. They had great offense, good ball movement. They was in rhythm. It was hitting a lot of threes. And yeah, they had that big lead in the third quarter hit, and this Nuggets team just turn the switch. Jokic making plays, he can do in terms of not even just scoring, just passing the ball. Arguably the best passer we have today in this game right now. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. I mentioned Aaron Gordon earlier, and yeah, they got to within single digits against the Magic team that third quarter. And the fourth quarter hit, and Magic tried to pull away. Every time they tried to pull away, the Nuggets just kept staying within that game. And eventually, led by those boys, like I said, MPJ, Jamal Murray, Jokic, making plays. They got out to the lead, and
Yeah.
then the Magic went cold late, and the Nuggets didn't. And
Yeah.
in the end, the Nuggets was able to complete their comeback and seal that win late in the fourth quarter.
Hey man, you know their nickname, and you know how they gained it.
You're right. You're right.
Look, man, look, let me say something. This Magic team, ever since they traded Vucevic and Fournier and stuff, they've been shocking people out the water. Just like what you said with their tenacity, their toughness, their hustle, and surprisingly, their 3-point shooting ability. Like it's like they consistently knocking out a three ball, and which is has been keeping them in games. And more importantly, they've been just playing as a team aspect. But you expect this from teams that you can't pick out a true specific star or whatsoever. They play
A
as a
unit.
one whole unit. Yes, as a one whole unit, and they try to feed off each other and try to get the best that they can out of that. And that's what the Magic have been doing. Hence why they even had that big lead. I was shocked myself. I was like, dang, they doing it. They're doing that right now to the Nuggets. But yet, it's only so much you could do when you're going against a team like that that's young and has been highly experienced within situations like these. And the Nuggets are those things. And as a result, you've seen them. Comeback kids from Colorado came alive. They just came alive. They start to try to gather up some kind of steam, start up the engine with the thing that did in that third quarter. And the moment the fourth quarter hit, they was on go time. They was on bad demon time. And as a result, you seen what happened.
And I was mentioning, yeah, like the Nuggets are pretty like in terms of their stars, in terms of their best players, they're a pretty young team,
Yeah.
and yet they're experienced because of their previous playoffs runs. Having two back-to-back game sevens two seasons ago, going against the Spurs in which they won, and then losing to the Blazers because CJ McCollum went MJ. And then the next year, being down 3-1 back-to-back playoff rounds, coming back and then going to the Western Conference Finals, losing to LeBron, AD, and the eventual champions of the Lakers. They're so experienced that even if they're young, Jokic, Murray, MPJ, um, the way they play, it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, it doesn't bother them. And it's a thing I'm talking about. There's another situation that you didn't bring up, even though they didn't make the playoffs at this time. Remember when them and the Timberwolves were fighting?
Yes, yes. Also that for the final game of the season, whoever wins the game goes to the AFC playoff spot.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. This team has so much experience in which coming back is just like it's so used to them. Like, they are never rattled, they are never panicking, they're always calm under pressure. And mind you, they have added on players that's way younger that never been through situations like that, and they just fit in so well with that kind of mold of what they already have with that situation right there. That experience, that youthful experience, but yet that mold in which, they're always under pressure, they never panic, always stay calm.
Yeah, and also real quick before we go, I Aaron Gordon, this addition that he's been to this Nuggets team is just absolutely incredible. Him and Jokic and their dynamic and the way they just fit so well together in terms of Jokic passing ability and Aaron Gordon just always attacking, always cutting to the basket. I mean, the backdoor cuts that they had last night between Jokic and Gordon was, I mean, just just beautiful basketball.
Yeah, man. Again, when you have somebody of Jokic's caliber, a freaking 7-footer who could pass the ball, thread needle like any pure point guard. And then you got somebody like Aaron Gordon of his talents who could play on or off the ball, and his
Mhm.
athleticism, especially because again, we talk about the dunk contest and stuff like that. But if you see it
Yeah.
and you clearly see that could be a perfect fit. That's always going to be a perfect fit because that person doesn't need the ball much, always going to be moving, always going to be on his P's and Q's, reading coverages, seeing what kind of next move is to make. And you got Jokic, who's basically the big ass quarterback.
Yep. It's basically the best way you could say it. Yep. And the Nuggets do topple the Orlando Magic, Aaron Gordon getting that win against his former team.
Yeah.
All right. few other games around the league from last night. Any that you would like to go over? Anything that you would like to talk about?
The first one I like to talk about is the Bulls versus the Nets, and the Nets in the first quarter, even though it
No,
was
oh,
close,
not sorry to cut you off. No Harden though. No Harden.
yeah,
Just
no
mentioned
Harden,
no Harden.
no Harden. Now, obviously, of course, no KD because he's been out for way long.
And no
But
DeAndre.
DeAndre. But
Or
the
Dinwiddie.
Nets team, the Nets team,
Sorry.
they actually had a good run with this Bulls team. It was a really close exchange, but they had the first quarter, but then that second quarter hit, and this Bulls team, they just start to catch their momentum. Start to catch
Mm-hmm.
their momentum. Vucevic, Satoransky, um, Levine, like all these guys marketing, like they started to catch their stride, and then the third quarter hit, and they basically took off and had a big lead. But again, this Nets team, there's only so much you could do to contain them because once that fourth quarter hit, despite the fact of having no Harden, no DeAndre Jordan, and obviously no KD and stuff, they were starting to make their own quick run in which they were getting back into single digits. And you've seen it. And Kyrie was balling throughout this whole game. Even though he only had, I believe, like 24 on the night, he was
Mm-hmm.
his impact doesn't even need to be talked about. Come on, let's just be honest here. And they made it into a close game, but the Bulls were able to close it out in terms of what they were doing within that third quarter, playing as a team, moving the ball, getting the ball inside, and whenever the opportunity came, hitting the three ball.
Yep. And Kyrie, he had to play. He had to be the facilitator, play a playmaker position, something that Harden usually does, and he had to score. So he had 24 and 15 on the night.
Yeah,
But I mean, you gotta give credit to the Bulls team. Obviously, you mentioned Vucevic and Levine. There was big time down the stretch and throughout the entire game. And finally, they get their first win together.
it's about time.
Yes, it is about time. First, hopefully, of many wins to come for that duo down there down there in Chicago.
Yeah.
Next game.
Ooh, sorry. And the next game I like to talk about is the Pelicans versus
Greatest team of all time, the Houston Rockets. Yes.
yes, no Zion, no BI for the Pels. But once again,
Lonzo
this
returned.
Lonzo returned and he played, and this was a really close battle between these two teams from start to finish. The Pelicans had the majority of the momentum within that first half. Jackson Hayes, you talk about Lonzo Ball, all those guys was just getting into rhythm right then and there. And then as the third quarter hit, the Rockets, they utilized the three ball, and as a result, they were able to not only stick to their strengths, which is mainly on the defensive end, but yet due to the fact of utilizing that three ball, they were able to make a comeback in which, again, they were able to stay close with this Pelicans team who play with a lot of energy and effort on both ends of the floor. And then that fourth quarter, it became a game, but the Pelicans were just too much.
And now just the Pelicans, but Lonzo Ball finished the night 8 3-pointers, his career high. Finished with 27 on the night, and they needed that big boost that for this Pelicans team. Obviously, mentioned no BI, no Zion, so they needed scoring. And he
Yeah.
was there for me. He came up big for him last night.
Surprisingly, he's like, "Thank you, JJ Redick."
Don't do that.
Look at JJ
Don't say
Redick
that.
help him out. Wait, hold on. JJ Redick helped him out with his shooting form. We talked about it so much. They always talk about the fact of him improving his 3-point shot. And let's be honest, when you have one of the greatest shooters and one of the top busts of all time in JJ Redick, then
Should have feel like Lonzo. Yep. No, you're right. You're right. JD Redick did help him with his 3-point form, and he's become a much better 3-point shooter than when he was in LA.
Yeah,
Much needed. That form wasn't it, but hey. They say if it goes in, then who cares, right? But it wasn't going in, so that was the problem. But now he is. Now it is. I like the confidence in his shot. I like that he's shooting the ball better, and it helped the Pelicans a lot last night, beating the Houston Rockets, even though that really isn't a tough task.
Yeah.
But all right, I'll just mention the two other games that happened around the league. The Sixers and the Grizzlies. Embiid did not play as a back-to-back, coming off an injury like that. That's usually the rule in the NBA. But the Grizzlies had a lot of momentum in that first half, but the Sixers were able to stay within it close enough. Then third quarter hit, and the Grizzlies went on a tear. Had 45 in that third quarter. Really rode that wave pretty much throughout the rest of the game. So they beat the Sixers. The other game, the Hornets and the Boston Celtics, and I mean the Celtics just blew the Hornets out the water. My goodness. Balanced scoring, great offense. Hornets looked just, it wasn't their day. It just wasn't their day. All right. But yeah. News before we get into predictions for tonight. One major news, and that is of the Milwaukee Bucks. Jrue Holiday, who signed and agreed to a 4-year, $160 million deal to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks. He's pretty much been needed for them. Someone like his caliber to help take this Bucks team to the next level, to help improve Giannis's play and to help break that kind of mold in how they were losing over the past 2 years.
Yeah, man, this was in my opinion, this was a great job on the Bucks side of doing this. You know what I mean? You just alluded to it. The Bucks have been having their postseason struggles, in which, is like no matter how much season they had, success they had in the regular season, it came up to the postseason, they had no kind of adjustments or things to help get them past that hump. And they brought in Jrue Holiday, a really talented guard who plays more in a half court setting, who could now, with having a player of that caliber, you change up Giannis's way of playing off the ball. He's playing more like what he should have been doing, like I always alluded to, being more inside and in that post area while Jrue has the ball. And you could utilize that along with the plays that you got around him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I have no problem with him staying with the Pelicans. That is a lot of money. Pelicans, Bucks, sorry. Pelicans former team. But yeah, the Bucks. That is a lot of money. A lot of money. $160 million for someone who's late in his career. Not too late, not like old, but pretty deep into his prime.
Yeah.
That's a big risk. It pretty much means that you are 100% sure that he can help you win a championship, and you are 100% sure that within these next 2 years, you will have a championship.
Yeah. In my opinion, Jrue Holiday, believe it or not, if you watch him play, he's a championship point guard. He plays like
I agree.
He 100%, he plays like a championship point guard. He's a person who you could utilize big time within situations and moments like that. I feel like another other key factor to why is because of the fact, let's just be honest, you're probably not going to get another point guard like him coming to Milwaukee. A small market, not a lot of people, unless if you draft well, not a lot of people really, truly, and honestly want to go to a smart market team like that. It's just and again, he's really big for your team.
Yeah, you're right about that in the small market, but you got to remember, when small markets, usually they have to have some type of attraction going on for them. What other bigger attraction is there than a 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, an absolute beast in Giannis? I think that's a big attraction for a point guard to come to Milwaukee.
Yes, you're right. But then why hasn't Why hasn't anybody tried to make that move yet then? Or is all the point guards taken up in their own right or in their own space?
Okay, so then you're talking about just in free agency, right?
It could be free agency, trade deadline. It's all up.
Point guards have been. I wasn't. Well, James Harden, point guard, shooting guard. Was James Harden's one of the requested teams with Milwaukee?
With the beef that him and Giannis got, I don't know. I don't remember.
Ain't no beef. Come on, man.
Nah,
It's
but
basketball beef. That's all
yeah,
it is.
I don't remember, but I did hear something about CP3 wanting to go there before he went to Phoenix.
All right, but in free agent, I mean, this is Giannis. Not too many point guards have hit the free agency. Not too many superstar point guards, all-star point guards have hit the free agency market in the past couple years since Giannis won his first MVP. That I'm thinking of, right? Most of them stayed with their team. Obviously, the big one was Kyrie. He went to Brooklyn, played with KD.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I can understand. I can understand. Yeah, it makes sense. I see.
Maybe Curry goes. Actually, no, because he's going with LeBron.
Let me tell you something. He's not going from all the way from California to Wisconsin. That will never happen.
Why you wouldn't do that?
Are you crazy?
Didn't Aaron Rodgers do it from college to the pros? Well, actually, he got drafted, so I guess it don't matter.
Exactly, man. Unless if you got drafted by a team from California, there was no way he would ever make that transition from Cal to Wisconsin, a cheese state, a state known for cheese.
What's wrong with cheese?
Cheese is good, but come on now, cheesy. Just cheesy. That's it.
Listen, cheese is amazing. Don't do that. Don't do that to cheese.
Yes, cheese is amazing.
Right, enough with the food, enough with the cheese. Let's get on to the basketball predictions for tonight's set of games. A early lineup, not too early, but not really any late games. So let's get into it. First, starting with the first primetime game of the night, NBA TV. It is a battle in New York City. The New York Knicks going up against the Brooklyn Nets, and it is believed, possibly, that Kevin Durant will be returning for tonight's game. Probably. It's probability.
I doubt that's gonna happen. So
you doubt it. You doubt it.
But I'm still gonna have the Nets though. I'm still gonna have the Nets, but I doubt that he's coming back. Probably the next game or the game after that, but not this game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, what else? Him coming back against the Knicks. Of course, our luck. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I got the Nets as well. If Harden is playing. If Harden's not playing, I got the Knicks.
Yeah.
But if Harden's playing, yeah, I got the Nets. The Wizards going up against the Raptors.
I got the Raptors.
I got the Wizards. The Utah Jazz going up against the Dallas Mavericks.
This is surprisingly going to be a challenge for the Jazz. I got the Jazz though.
I agree with you, and that's surprising. But especially with how the Mavs been playing lately. But I got the Jazz as well.
Yeah.
The Kings going up against the Timberwolves. Timberwolves. The Pistons going up against the Thunder.
Thunder. Sorry, Thunder.
Pistons. The Cavs going up against the Spurs. Spurs. And lastly, the Phoenix Suns going up against the Houston Rockets.
They get why. Suns.
No, pick the Rockets.
I want to pick the Rockets. But it's just like, again, second seed, nearly at the bottom, 20-game losing streak, a possibility to become a playoff team. Not a playoff team, a championship team. I got the Suns. I'm sorry, there's too much factors going in their favor.
I got the Suns. Yep, me too. Was there ever in doubt? Come on, but yes, only primetime game, the Knicks and the Nets. Yeah, a lot of games end early tomorrow. For tonight. So yeah, but we will cover any other games as well if they are interesting enough. But all right, I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
Oh yeah, by the way, that joke about JJ Redick, it was just a joke that I heard from someone else about the top 10 busts of all time.
Oh, I thought you was talking about why? What?
I didn't want people to think I'm being a casual when I said that.
I think, but in this generation, I would hope that people would know that it was a lighthearted, little goofy little joke.
Yeah.
We all know JJ Redick is one of the greatest shooters of all time. Come on, man.
Exactly. But like everybody's so sensitive. That's me being a hypocrite, so I can't even say that.
Yeah. I was about to say you too. You there?
Yeah, I'm editing this part out.
No, you're not. You keeping this part in.
Yeah, that's
Perfectly in this generation. Perfectly. You just be the face of it. Anything else?
Is there anything else? Nah. The Lakers are just looking like the ugly sisters right now.
Well, all it is just they need their stars back. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few starters and role players that's really on that team right now.
Hey man, if there's a time you want to say what in the Matrix hell, it's this time right now for them.
You need to stop killing LeBron on that. Stop. You need to stop killing LeBron on that.
It's so embarrassing. What in the Matrix hell?
All right. All that being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure you tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Also, follow IG down in the description below.
And once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
This is the Mind of Basketball Podcast.